rain most of the time, but if you guys want me to try and become best friends, we'll say, with a particular character, go ahead and leave that in the comments. Try to get it to me as early as possible, because this game has options that affect how other players perceive Lloyd pretty early on, so yeah, let's continue. I'm really curious to find out what really happens to Colette when she receives the Oracle. They always talk about the Chosen of Regeneration and the Day of Prophecy, but no one tells us what really happens. Yeah, I hate it whenever, like, they don't finish the sentence, so I sound weird. But my sister said to stay and study by ourselves. Okay, now, if you pick okay, fine, like, Genis, like, it seems like it's research and Genis gets pissed off, but he really likes that about Lloyd, the fact that he's not afraid to just go out and do whatever he wants. So I'm going to pick it's research. It's research. That's just an excuse. Like, it seems like he's pissed off, but he's not. You gain affection points with him. So, an excuse is an excuse, right? Don't be so stuffy. You're coming too, right? We're best friends after all. Colette, wanna come along too? Huh? Okay. So where to? Where else? That light. You're directly involved in all of this. Aren't you curious? Are you curious about it? Of course. Okay, then I'll be curious about it too. See? Dwarven vow number 4. Don't depend on others. Walk on your own 2 legs. Okay then, let's go to the temple. Not the Dwarven vows again. You always use those when you need an excuse. So do we, as you'll come to find out. But that's okay, because I'm a hypocrite. Yeah, when the Z button appears, you'll get a skit. Now, unfortunately, the skits are not voice acted, which means a lot more reading for me. Skits contain hints about where to go next, as well as offer a variety of fun chats between the characters. I'm pretty sure I had skits on, so it should be pretty. Now, it's important that you examine this Colette-shaped hole in the back, as you'll come to find out her character is kind of klutzy. So, now, titles in this game are more important than titles in any other Tales of game that I know of. Because in this game, I mean, they have a direct effect on your character's stats. Like, each time you gain a level, it affects your stat growth. So, like, for example, some of the best titles in this game give +10 to all of their stats each time they level up. So, what you want to do is make sure to have that title. And this game was made for multiple playthroughs, because at the end of each game, you are graded based on how your performance was with grade points, and you can use those points to buy perks for your next playthrough. And one of the perks for your next playthrough is to keep titles, so that you can keep your character's best title, so that they have the best possible stats whenever you level up. Now, have you forgotten Lloyd? This happened when Colette. It was during last year's spring cleaning. I was mopping and then accidentally. You're such a klutz, Colette. Yeah, Colette obtained the title of klutz. Now, everybody comes with a base title. Like, I have my... I have my, strategy book over there, and I could tell you what each of them are, but... the first ones aren't really that great. They're kind of like the typical what that character needs. Like, I'm pretty sure Lloyd's first title gives him strength, and Colette kind of gives her, like, TP. Oh yeah, TP, it's not toilet paper. In this game, it's called technical points. It's basically like mana, energy. I mean, it's basically what characters in this game need to perform special attacks outside of regular attacks. It will discuss more about the combat whenever we actually start fighting monsters. But yeah, you go to status, and then you have your list of titles right here underneath. And you can see his base stats right there. Like strength, defense, accuracy, evasion, luck, intelligence. And then slash and thrust, that's like Lloyd's special stats, because his swords, they have a slash ratio, like not a ratio, but a slash stat and a thrust stat. And depending on what moves you use during combat determines how strong they are. But that's stuff that's super fancy. We're not quite at that stage yet. But I'll do my best to explain that stuff when we get to it. Generally speaking, you're going to be doing a lot more slash than thrust attacks. At least I think so. But again, we'll talk about it whenever we get to it. So yeah, Colette increases her HP, strength, and accuracy by 1 point. So each time she levels up, she'll gain 1 point in each of those stats. No, I'm not saying that she wouldn't get points in her stats otherwise, but I think it's just an increase overall. Let's see. Magic user. So yeah, you want to equip that probably as soon as you can. Because for the most part, Colette will be doing physical attacks as opposed to magic attacks, because she doesn't get her first magic attack until later on in the game. So yeah, here we have our first skit, and you push Z on the GameCube. I wonder if Rain's going to be mad at us. Don't worry, all we have to do is get back to class before she does. But wasn't Professor Rain going to the temple too? What if we run into her? We'll be fine. Probably. Alright, so let's go. Yeah, I know, my Lloyd voice isn't so good because he's like kind of high-pitched and kind of has like a whiny voice. So did Robin from Teen Titans, but it's kind of hard to do because I'm always yelling about stuff. Yeah, as you'll come to know, he's like the lovable oaf type. Like, he's not the brightest bulb, but he has a heart gold type character. Father! Frank! Thank goodness you're safe. Frank, what happened to everyone in the village? They're all hiding. The Designs invaded the village just a short while ago. Thankfully, no one was hurt. They passed through the village and headed for the temple. Why? Ysalia has a non-aggression treaty with the Designs. You mean that agreement where they don't attack the village as long as we leave the human ranch alone? Oh god, this dialogue. Yes, grandmother said it's to protect me. Oh, where's grandmother? Phydra's in the temple preparing for the ritual. Phydra's in the temple? But that's where the Designs... The priests are there with her. There's no need to worry. Now, Colette. I know. I promised to fulfill my duty as the Chosen. Good luck, Colette. Lloyd, Genis, you two should go on home. I'm worried about letting Colette go by herself. I'll go with her to the temple. Me too. But, alright, thank you. I'll wait at the house. Come back immediately if anything happens. Yeah, some of the dialogue is... I've never actually stopped to read it in a long time. It's just so, kind of stuffy. I'll go to the temple with her, too! With her, it seems like you could just omit that part. And, oh yeah, in this game... I'm sorry for skipping over text you might want to read, but... In this game, save points are these little special symbols on the ground. I suggest saving it. Oh yeah, these are previous playthroughs that I've done. We'll just write over this one. I didn't get very far on it anyway. So, but yeah, you have some money. I think if you talk to this, there's a... Now, I've never actually completed. There's a... I'm getting ahead of myself here. I'm getting tongue-tied. So you've talked to this kid. Yeah, he gives you a magic lens. Now, in this game, well, in every game since these games started, so you always got what they're called spectacles in some games, and they're called magic lens in others, and they allow you to view your opponent's HP. It's normally not that useful. I mean, in the older games it is, because after a while, I mean, if you use a magic lens on an enemy once in the future games, then you can automatically just look at the... if you fight that enemy multiple times, you don't have to keep using a magic lens on it. In this game, unfortunately, you do have to. But there's an item that you get called the Monster Book. And if you complete the Monster Book, you get a title for it. I've never actually completed the Monster Book ever. Even though I've beaten the game 25 times, I've never bothered to complete it. Just because, those like collector item titles, like they're not really like worth all the trouble, in my opinion. Like each character's best title probably comes from whenever we're gonna start doing the arena later on in the game, like, and also some of their best weapons come from the arena. So yeah, overall I prefer the arena titles and stuff like that. Oh yeah, let's go outside the gate. Now the main draw for me these games is the combat system. Like it was so different to me when I first played it. I think it's called linear. I think it's called like the linear motion battle system, like LMB system, linear motion. You might have to, you know, check it out. The way fighting in this the way combat in this game works is you have the A button, the B button, and the X button. Those are your three main combat-oriented buttons. Now, X is to guard, A is for your regular attack, and B is for special attacks, or techniques. They're called techs in this game, short for techniques. Lloyd, you're amazing. Ah, well, I owe it to this thing, though. Ah, that's right, the X-Sphere. Yeah, it's designed for combat and brings out my maximum strength. Without this thing, I'd be nothing. But you're still strong, Lloyd. Yeah, at least his sword skills are good. What do you mean, at least? Oh, snap! There's another one. Let's go, you two. Wait, Lloyd. The professor said magic is more effective than physical attacks against non-physical and spiritual monsters. Really? Yes. Okay, then I'll leave the ghost to Genis. I'll go for the zombie. During battle, press the R button to switch the controlled character's target to the closest, blah blah blah. Press control stick left or right while holding the R button, just so I can get. Basically, like, I'll read those for you, but I'll be telling you how to do it. Yeah, you hold R, you can switch between targets. Now, Colette, like, there's also, like, there's so many things I can talk about for the fight.
Demon Fang!
Yeah, so the way this game works, you have your techs. Now, we only have one for Lloyd, and that's Demon Fang, which is a staple in these games. About every main character has had this attack. Almost every. Now, the way you see it in the lower right corner, or it says usage. I recommend getting this up to 50 in any tech that you learn throughout the game, up to 50, because in this game, that's how you learn, like, new abilities, outside of just leveling up and learning abilities. Like, for example, like Demon Fang, you see how it says level 1 special attack with a powerful shot. Whew, this whole lecture might have to come whenever I'm out during the battle.
Demon Fang! Demon Fang!
Yeah, it works. The basic combo in this game
Just
is
as I expected.
3 normal hits, then you use a tech.